convoy should be entering the presidency, where he will be hosted by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. What we know is that there will be a bilateral meeting between officials of the two countries. The signing of the Memorandum of Understanding is also expected to take place, and among other things, there will be a state luncheon at the banquet hall in honor of Prime Minister Mitchell. So on your screen is the parade formed by a contingent from the Ghana Navy, supported by the Ghana Navy Band. The guard commander is Naval Lieutenant Ishaq Fuseni, and we know that Prime Minister Mitchell will be inspecting this special military guard of honor before he is ushered to the Credentials Hall here at the presidency for the engagement between him and His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. For many of you who are watching us live from the presidency, let me give you a brief about Grenada. It's a very small country made up of volcanic Caribbean islands in the West Indies. Its capital is St. George's. The people of this country are mostly blacks, mixed race, and of European origin. Grenada is largely mountainous with lush rainforests, fertile land, has two major seasons. The dry season is mostly not too long. It has beautiful beaches and diving sites, including an underwater sculpture park, which drives tourism and its economy. And so today it will be full engagement between Ghanaian officials and the Prime Minister of Grenada, who arrived yesterday. Just been played, and as you may know by now, looking at the color of their uniform, this is the contingent from the Ghana Navy, supported by the Ghana Navy Band. This is a full military parade in honor of the visiting Prime Minister of Grenada, Prime Minister Thomas Mitchell. And so the military will be performing their drills. He'll be inspecting the guard of honor, after which he'll be ushered into the Credentials Hall here at the presidency, where he will be hosted by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Grenada is largely a mountainous country with lush forests, fertile land, beautiful beaches, and diving sites, including an underwater sculpture park, which drives tourism of that country. In fact, the country has a Westminster style of democracy. It gained independence from Britain in 1974. So many of you listening to us now obviously are older than this small island country. Their official language is English. It's a member of the British Commonwealth. His Majesty Prince Charles is the head of state and is represented locally by a Governor General who is appointed on the advice of the Prime Minister. So you see a Prime Minister who is being led to inspect the guard of honor by the Ghana Navy. Its executive power lies with the Prime Minister and his cabinet. General elections are held every 5 years. And the country is known for growing spices, one of the world leading producers. And Grenada is commonly called the Spices Isle for its production of nutmeg, ginger, cloves. They also grow tree crops like cocoa. And so we are live from the presidency, where His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will be hosting the visiting Prime Minister of Grenada, Honorable Dickon Amiss Thomas Mitchell. He's currently inspecting the guard of honor mounted by the Ghana Navy. The two countries have had relations, and the most recent was in 2024 when Ghana signed a bilateral agreement on visa waivers. The two countries seek to deepen commitments and cooperation on culture, trade, reparations, health, and education. And yesterday, during the federal meeting between the two countries, Grenada expressed interest in the recruitment of Ghanaian nurses to address what we understand is severe health worker shortage. And so we'll just go straight to the parade grounds and listen to the ambience briefly, and I'll tell you a little more about what will be happening at the presidency between now and later this afternoon, when the president will be hosting the Prime Minister of Grenada. Guard of honor. This is the full military guard of honor on parade to be over any moment from now. He will be moving from here to the Credentials Hall, where we expect that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will receive him. So I'll join you briefly after the parade is over. And so after the inspection of the parade, according to the program I have here, Prime Minister Mitchell will be leading his delegation to meet the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. The two officials will have a brief conversation at the Credentials Hall, after which there will be a bilateral meeting between the two countries. On our side, I'm talking about Ghana. The information we have is that aside the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, other people will be joining. Let's take the anthems of the two countries as they wrap up, and we come over to give you some information about who is likely to be part of the bilateral meeting. The contingent of the Ghana Navy Band. The guard commander was Naval Lieutenant Ishaq Fuseni. The color ensign Sub-Lieutenant Gideon Pamford. The band commander Sub-Lieutenant Anakwa, and the other officer on parade is Sub-Lieutenant Na. They perform the drill. So as we speak, Ambassador Akins, who is the Director of State Protocol, is leading Prime Minister meet His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, who is waiting to receive him before the two leaders will be moving towards the Credential Hall, where His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will be hosting him. As I shared with you, for those of you who joined this live broadcast earlier, the two countries will be having bilateral talks. Ghana and Grenada have many things in common. The climate of the two countries are relatively the same. Ghana talks about the Black Star experience, about boosting tourism. So the two will be interested here. So you see in your shot, Joyce Bawa Muktari. We also have Mr. Dr. Ekos Pio Gabra, also in short, having exchanges with the visiting Prime Minister of Grenada. We have other officials from the two countries who are all lined up to receive him as he just inspected the guard of honor. Far at your right side of your screens, you saw Ghana's Foreign Minister Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. These two officials, representing some sectors of the economies of the two countries, will be meeting shortly after a brief tete-a-tete with the visiting Prime Minister. On our side, the information I have is that the Chief of Staff, Mr. Julius Debra, Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, Executive Secretary to the President, Dr. Callistus Mahama, will be among those who will be participating in the bilateral meeting between us. Later, a memorandum of understanding will be signed. So, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and then the visiting Prime Minister have just entered the foyer of the presidency, and your cameras, as our cameras are following, the two countries are standing just, this is part of the ceremony. They'll be shaking hands, exchanging pleasantries just for the cameras. The photo opportunity has just been concluded. And so they walk to the Credentials Hall at the presidency, where I believe that representatives of the two countries, ministers from both sides, will make some opening remarks before we wrap up our first part of the coverage. There will be a state luncheon here at the banquet hall. The two countries will be signing a memorandum of understanding. I was making a reference to the two countries who will be represented at the bilateral meeting, but any moment from now, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will be making a brief opening statement, and we expect the Prime Minister of Grenada to also speak. Don't forget, Grenada is a British Commonwealth country. Their official language is English. Again, many people in that country are blacks. We have mixed race, a few Europeans. Many of them are into fishing, agriculture. They grow spices. And today we understand the Minister of Health Kobna Minta Akando would also be part of this bilateral meeting, as well as Felix Kwacho Fosu. President Mahama is speaking, so let's listen to him now.
Barrier to our relationship, it must rather bring us closer together. We thank you for your visit last year. This year I couldn't come to the African Caribbean Investment Forum because I had just been elected and I was busy forming my government, but we made sure we represented, at a high level at the forum. We are happy that your visit will allow us to continue with the rapprochement that we've been engaged in, especially with the MOUs that we have signed. One being the MOU on political consultation, and I'm happy that yesterday our two foreign ministers could sit and have that consultation so that based on the shared values that we have, we can take common positions at international meetings. And so we are happy that that took place yesterday. We also have the MOU on trade, culture, and education. And my hope is that your visit will deepen that even further. We have the MOU on visa waiver for each other's citizens, which is in operation. We've had a few complaints of a few Grenada citizens who are asking fully implemented. Ghana happens to be the headquarters of the African Continental Free Trade Area, and that was a very historic trade agreement that was signed, and so far more than 50 countries have ratified it. And so it allows us to export duty-free and tariff-free into each other's markets. And I believe it becomes an opportunity for African and Caribbean businesses to invest together to take advantage of a 1.3 billion population market and with a GDP of more than 3 trillion. And so we must find ways and means of bringing the two business communities together to create further investments. And so we're happy to welcome you, and we always welcome your visits, and I look forward to the opportunity to pay a visit back to Grenada in order that we cement the relationship even further. So you're welcome again.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, and good morning to you and your esteemed delegation, members of the media. It's a profound honor, and one that is also personal to me. I should start by telling Your Excellency that in July at the Afrexim Bank conference, I revealed my DNA ancestry tracing on my maternal side, and it was traced to the Akan people of Ghana.
Yes.
So I think I could say the Akoba that was given to me yesterday, I think is a reflection of the homecoming that is deeply personal to me, but I think anecdotal to Grenada and the Caribbean. I'm not so sure the veracity of it, but I'm told 75% of the population of Grenada can trace its ancestry to Ghana. So I think for us, the very first African country I visited was Ghana. And I think in a sense it's a natural aligning of the stars, and as you say, of the deliberate use of the ocean as a bridge to make sure that we in the Caribbean can reconnect in a deliberate way with our roots, both politically, socially, culturally, and importantly, economically as well. Because oftentimes, while we welcome the conversations and the meeting, we recognize the importance of trade, because it's trade that in fact led to the dark Middle Passage, the transatlantic slave trade. But obviously we want to be able to trade and grow economies and make sure citizens benefit from a trade that is progressive, that is deliberate, and looks after the well-being for citizens. So I want to express my deep appreciation for hosting me and my delegation. I appreciate you just came from China. It's an incredibly long way, and so for you to make time in your schedule to accommodate this visit is deeply appreciated. I want to start off right away by extending the reciprocity and by inviting Your Excellency to officially visit us in Grenada. I'm even tempted to propose the time, if your schedule will permit. You know, the 1st of August is the day in which the British, at least in the British West Indies, finally accepted that the slave trade, and slavery in particular, was abhorrent and at least legally should come to an end. My government only this year re-emphasized by making the 1st of August a public holiday. Because prior to that it was being celebrated on the first Monday of August rather than on the day itself. And we felt we wanted our younger generation to appreciate the significance of the day and to make sure they understand why I sometimes say that that day marks the beginning, in a sense, of our nation, because you can't have a nation where one human being owns another human being. So it is of profound significance, and if your schedule will permit, and because I think it is some significant lead time, we'd love to welcome you to be with us on that day, because I think it demonstrates, as I said, the deliberate bridge building, but also a significant reminder of our past and the importance of ensuring that future generations understand the struggle of Africans everywhere. And I say this in the context of knowing Ghana's leading role in the fight for reparations. It is something
may know was donating
for foreign affairs.
Will appreciate blacks are always blacks. Being a former colony of UK, Britain, to be specific, a member of the Commonwealth, gaining
NDC, senior government officials,
as 1974,
members of parliament, the deputy speaker of parliament, our distinguished delegation from Grenada, presidential special envoy for a bill, and his esteemed delegation to this luncheon, which is being hosted by His Excellency the President of the Republic. But before we proceed, may I invite the Chief of Protocol of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Dovlo, to moderate a brief section of the signing of the MOU. Ambassador Dovlo, please, you are invited.
Your Excellency the President, Honorable Prime Minister, Ministers of State, other senior government officials, members of the clergy, as part of this official visit, our two governments have resolved to sign a memorandum of understanding. I will now proceed to mention the title of the memorandum of understanding and invite the government officials from both sides who will be signing the MOU. The title of the memorandum of understanding is Memorandum of Understanding between the government of the Republic of Ghana and the government of the state of Grenada for the recruitment of Ghanaian nurses for the state of Grenada. This MOU will be signed by the foreign ministers of both countries. I now invite Honorable Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, the Minister for Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Ghana, to sign on behalf of the Republic of Ghana. I also invite Honorable Joseph Andal, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export Development of the State of Grenada, to sign on behalf of the State of Grenada. I also respectfully invite His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the President of the Republic of Ghana, to stand behind the Foreign Minister whilst they sign the MOU. The same way I invite the Honorable Prime Minister of the State of Grenada to stand behind the Foreign Minister of the State of Grenada whilst they sign the MOU. So that you may now proceed to sign the MOUs. The two foreign ministers will now exchange the MOU. Thank you very much. That brings us to the end of the MOU signing ceremony. Your Excellencies, you may now resume your seat.
Grenada is such a beautiful country where comfort so much black men.
Thank you very much. Oh, another big round of applause to our foreign ministers. This is export of labor, so this is a very fruitful visit. We are most grateful. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, before we proceed, we would invite the Kwampa Band to give us some good tunes, both from Ghana and Grenada. Thank you. To set the tone for this sumptuous lunch. Kwampa Band, please.
Omano sepeyo, omano sepeyo, ayense na ose, omanfo pirameche, omano sepeyo, omano sepeyo, ayense na ose, omanfo pirameche, bese yana raya sasini, eya buodi nema ye, mojana na no piego nyandeto omaye, edumene wososo, sayebe be atoso, him get trust on conto grane abe, selling komenya, edi ebrem dem amaya saseo, do atomse, omano sepeyo, omano sepeyo, ayense na ose, omanfo pirameche, omano sepeyo, omano sepeyo, ayense na ose, omanfo pirameche, bese mome yibunsem, nyewe yasem, na dream wanopa, every numere nina, se uri bombaya, eya kaigana, se unyankobo, fagana shenensa, enona woyo mambapa, enona wodo odo maoma, enuarana yeshishe, odo maoma, enuari, odo maoma, enuarana yeshishe, odo maoma, enuari, bese momen yimonsem, nyewe yasem, na dream wanopa, every numere nina, se uri bombaya, eya kaigana, se unyankobo, fagana shenensa, enona woyo mambapa, enona wodo odo maoma, enuarana yeshishe, odo maoma, enuari, odo maoma, enuarana yeshishe, odo maoma, enuari, Ghana will say, yeah, say, yeah, Ghana, oh, yeah, Ghana, oh, yeah, say what? Grenada, oh, say, yeah, Grenada, oh, say, yeah, Grenada, oh, yeah, Grenada, oh, yeah, Siriba, Ghana, oh, say, yeah, Ghana, oh, say, yeah, Ghana, oh, yeah, Ghana, oh, yeah, Siva, Grenada, oh, say, yeah, Grenada, oh, say, yeah, Grenada, oh, yeah, Grenada, oh, yeah, oh, say, Ghana, oh, say, Ghana, oh, say, Ghana, oh, say, Ghana, yango, oh, say, Ghana, Ghana, oh, say, Ghana, yango, oh, say, Ghana, Ghana, oh, say, Ghana, hey, my wedding year, my wedding day, say, oh, free Ghana, my wedding day, say, oh, yeah, Ghana, baby, my wedding day, say, oh, free Ghana, my wedding day, say, oh, yeah, Ghana, Ghana, yeah, they ship my yeah, oh, say, yeah, walk, oh, memo, oh, say, yeah, what in my memo, oh, say, yeah, what oil, memo, oh, say, Gano, ah, oh, say, Gano, hey, my wedding, my wedding, yes, oh, free Ghana, my wedding, yes, oh, yeah, Ghana, baby, my wedding, yes, oh, free Ghana, my wedding, yes, oh, yeah, Ghana, Ghana, yeah, they share my yeah, oh, say, yeah, walk, oh, memo, oh, say, yeah, what in my memo, oh, say, yeah, what oil, memo, oh, say, Wampa, and see your memo, oh, say, Ghana, oh, say, Ghana, Ghana, oh, say, yeah, Ghana, oh, say, yeah, Ghana, oh, yeah, Ghana, oh, yeah, every year, Ghana, oh, say, yeah, Ghana, oh, say, yeah, every year, Ghana, oh, yeah, Ghana, oh, yeah, Susu, baby, Fakwa Ghana, na Ghana, baby, enye yo, if you may know what I want, Susu, baby, Fakwa Ghana, na Ghana, baby, enye yo, if you may know what I want, me mangana, adeshe mama, so. Elfanso moye mai, if it's all mine, ya yanka sai tapadia, ya nana nuti abebere se, ejidi to homa Semeno say Yansum Gana ye. And yes, I bet that chinchirima Obeba Bibuya for Quampaya Susu baby every year for Ghana. Ghana be you, then you with it.
Shall we give the Kwampa Band a big round of applause? Thank you very much. I believe you're enjoying your status. To officially commence this luncheon, it is now my honor to respectfully invite His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, Mr. John Dramani Mahama, to deliver his remarks and propose a toast, after which we'll take the national anthem of Grenada. Your Excellency, please. Let's welcome His Excellency.
Thank you. Kindly resume your seats. Thank you. Your Excellency, the Honorable Dickon Thomas Mitchell, Prime Minister of the State of Grenada, Your Excellency, Professor Jane Nano Pokwajiman, unfortunately she's not with us, the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker of Parliament, the Honorable Joseph Andal, Minister for Foreign Affairs, Trade, Export Development of Grenada, the Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablaka, Minister for Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Ghana, Honorable Ministers, Members of Parliament, the Honorable Chief of Staff, Members of the Diplomatic Corps, traditional leaders, religious leaders, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure and a distinct honor for me to welcome you, Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell, along with your esteemed delegation to Ghana. On behalf of the government and the good people of Ghana, I extend warm fraternal greetings and sincere appreciation for your visit. Your presence here signifies a vital milestone in the expanding friendship between Ghana and Grenada. We are pleased to host you in Accra at a time when both nations are striving to strengthen cooperation founded on our shared history, mutual respect, and common vision for prosperity and dignity of our people. Your Excellency, Ghana and Grenada share a profound bond that goes beyond geography. Our people are linked by memories of a shared past and the strength of a common spirit towards the future. Although oceans may separate us, our ancestors' struggles for freedom and dignity have united us throughout history. The transatlantic slave trade may have sought to erase our connections and our bonds, but it could not destroy our collective identity or our resilience. The descendants of African and the Caribbean stand united, committed to turning our shared pain into a shared purpose. Since establishing diplomatic relations, our cooperation has steadily increased, guided by our shared commitment to democracy, peace, and human rights. In recent years, that relationship has broadened to include new areas such as trade, education, culture, and political consultations. Our two nations have made notable progress in strengthening people-to-people contacts. The visa waiver agreement signed in 2024 for holders of diplomatic service, special and ordinary passports is an important step towards improving mobility and cooperation. While we acknowledge that some challenges still exist for travelers, I wish to assure you, Prime Minister, that Ghana remains committed to working with your government to ensure the full and smooth implementation of this important accord. In the same year, we also signed a Memorandum of Understanding on Cooperation in Culture, Trade, and Education, as well as another on political consultations, creating a structured platform for dialogue and coordination on key areas of mutual interest. I'm pleased that just yesterday our Foreign Minister, the Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablaka, and Honorable Joseph Andal, Foreign Minister of Grenada, co-chaired the inaugural session of the Ghana-Grenada political consultations. I'm confident that this mechanism will produce practical outcomes that deepen political, economic, and cultural engagements between our two nations. Distinguished guests, the relationship between Ghana and Grenada exemplifies an excellent model of South-South cooperation. During my productive discussions with Prime Minister Michel earlier today, we mutually agreed on the importance of expanding our collaboration in key areas, particularly those that utilize our comparative advantages for mutual growth. In the health sector, Grenada's interest in recruiting Ghanaian nurses and allied health professionals presents a valuable opportunity for structured collaboration between our two countries. Ghanaian health workers have gained international recognition for their professionalism and their compassion. And we're keen to explore arrangements that address both our national needs and Grenada's health priorities. In education, we can develop partnerships through teacher exchanges, student mobility, and research collaboration. In agriculture, there's potential for collaboration in climate-resilient farming, food security, and agribusiness. In renewable energy, we can work together to promote cleaner and more affordable energy sources that align with our sustainable development goals. And in heritage and diaspora tourism, Ghana and Grenada can jointly promote cultural connections that honor our shared roots and provide economic opportunities for our people. Your Excellency, the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, which has its headquarters here in Ghana, offers a historic opportunity for Caribbean businesses to tap into Africa's integrated market of over 1.4 billion people. The Afro-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum, ACTIV, is another avenue to strengthen the trade and investment connections between Africa and the Caribbean. However, one significant barrier continues to hinder our cooperation, and that is the lack of direct air connectivity between the Caribbean and Africa. Despite being only 6 hours apart by air travel between travel between our regions can take nearly a full day, often routed through Europe or North America. This limitation restricts the movement of people, goods, and services between the Caribbean and Africa. We must collaborate to change this situation. Creating direct air links between Ghana and the Caribbean is not just a matter of convenience, but a strategic necessity. Such connectivity would unleash significant opportunities for trade, tourism, culture, and education between our people. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to touch briefly on an issue that holds deep meaning for both our nations: reparations for Africa and the people of African descent. As the African Union champion for reparations, I see this cause not as a plea for charity, but as a demand for justice and restoration. The African Union's 2025 theme, Justice for Africans and People of African Descent Through Reparations, rightly reflects the core of our collective struggle. At the African Union Mid-Year Coordination meeting in July this year, I stated that Africa calls for reparative justice is no longer a whisper. It is a unified demand grounded in historical truth, moral clarity, and our unwavering commitment to dignity. Grenada has long been a brave voice in this movement, and I look forward to Ghana and Grenada collaborating alongside other partners in CARICOM and the African Union to promote this moral and historic cause. At the UN General Assembly this year, I served notice that Ghana intends to file a motion at the United Nations next year to declare slavery as one of the greatest crimes against humanity. And Mr. Prime Minister, I know I can count on your support and the support of our colleagues in the Caribbean and the African Union to support this motion. Your Excellency, I'm confident that your official visit will inaugurate a new and promising chapter in Ghana-Grenada relations. Let us build on our shared history to foster shared prosperity founded on trust, cooperation, and a deep belief in the common destiny of our peoples. And so now, distinguished guests, I invite all of you to rise and raise your glasses kindly to propose a toast. And this toast is to the good health and continued success of the Honorable Dickon Amiss, Prime Minister of the State of Grenada, to the prosperity and well-being of the people of Ghana and Grenada, and to the enduring friendship between our two great nations. Cheers.
Please kindly take your seats. Thank you very much, Mr. President, for the wonderful speech and proposal of toast. It is now my distinct honor to invite our guest of honor, the Prime Minister of Grenada, the Honorable Dickon Amiss, to respond to the toast and deliver his remarks, after which we will take the Ghana National Anthem. Shall we please welcome Honorable Dickon Amiss, Prime Minister of Grenada, please.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, permit me to adopt and use the protocol that you have set, and thank you, the government and people of Ghana, for the warm akwaba that has been extended to me and my delegation here in Accra. This visit reconfirms and reinforces the long-standing bilateral relations between the two Gs, Ghana and Grenada. We recognize and appreciate, Your Excellency, that you've come from a long ways, having been in China recently, and I'm sure you must be tired, but yet you have found the time to accommodate this visit. And this singular act signals the importance that you and your government and the people of Ghana assign to the deep bilateral relations between Grenada and Ghana. And so I again extend my profound appreciation for hosting us. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, Grenada and by extension the Caribbean has been declared as the 6th region by the African Union of Africa. And so we are part of global Africa, and therefore very much vested in ensuring that the issues of mutual and common interests to us, whether they be the peace, safety and security of Africans everywhere, whether they be the challenges of climate change that affects the African continent, and in the case of the Caribbean, in many ways we are on the front line of what I call a laboratory, where every year we are experimented on by the ravages of one form of climatic event or the other, whether they be droughts, hurricanes, flooding, volcanic eruptions. We almost see it annually every year in the Caribbean. And despite these challenges, the resilience of the Caribbean people comes from having survived and uplifted themselves from the human tragedy of the slave trade, the Atlantic slave trade, the plantation and slave economy that was created in the Caribbean to serve the extractive and exploitative economic model of those who then saw no legal or moral challenge to owning another human being. And so it is because of the resistance of our ancestors, it is because of their resilience and their commitment to ensuring that the descendants, persons like myself, would have the ability to live freely, live peacefully, without the fear of someone ever thinking they could own me or my children or my grandchildren, is why we in the Caribbean are deeply committed to the issue of reparation. It is not just about economic justice.